Spider-Man the villain? Hold on now, I need an explanation. What it is, what's good YouTube? It's your boy JJ and I'm back with another banger video for y'all today, man. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And today, I was strolling through YouTube. You know how I be every day. You know, I'm a YouTube fanatic for real. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I saw Film Theory. You know, I react to Film Theory. They're cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? But they said, Spider-Man saved no one. Hold on, man. I'm over here like, I mean, not really, but like, I mean, it's like, it was just a lot going through my head. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to, like, I thought I had an answer just off the title. You know what I'm saying? But like, Spider-Man a villain? No, but maybe. But like, he didn't have the, you know what I'm saying, the intentions. But like, I don't know. So we're just gonna get straight into the video, man. Film Theory, let's see what you're talking about. And let's get straight into the video. Let's go.
Okay, let's be real. Spider-Man No Way Home was a blast.
Amazing.
If nothing else, you have to admire a movie that brought together 3 separate franchises spanning 20 years.
Amazing.
Sure, Endgame was impressive and all, but that was always the it was always the end game for the MCU from the very beginning. But here, no one could have seen this one coming. Just absolutely so much fun, which means that now we have to rip this thing to shreds because.
Let me just say, Spider-Man No Way Home was outstanding. Like this, they even used memes in the video. Like everything was just lit, bro.
That ending, man, we have got to talk about it. Well, the movie was great and all. Peter Parker's final wish left me with a lot of questions.
So sad.
It seems like I'm not the only one.
I mean, does the guy have a birth certificate? A social security card?
What happens with all the videos and news reports about him being Spider-Man?
So, what did old Tommy Holland actually wish for in the final moments of the movie? And what does that actually translate
what did he
to
wish
based
for?
on every clue that we see in the film's final moments? And more importantly, what does it mean for the future of this character and this franchise? That, my friends, is what I'm aiming to answer today.
Let's go, let's go. Let's talk,
Hello,
baby, let's
Internet.
go.
Welcome to Film Theory, where I use my Peter Tingle each and every week to spot and solve lore mysteries. Obviously, get your minds out of the
Pause.
gutter, guys. Okay, so Spider-Man No Way Home really needs no introduction at this point. It seems like
10 out of 10.
everyone in the world has seen this thing.
10 out of 10,
actually,
bro.
Considering that it had the #2 opening weekend of all time of any movie ever. That is insane. In fact, it only took that one single weekend to make it the highest grossing movie of 2021. After a year where theaters were really struggling to find their footing, the old webhead proved that people were willing to come back.
Spider-Man really that dude, like for real. If you really think about it, like let's say all your other movies that you guys made were shit. You just bring one Spider-Man movie out, everyone's watching that bitch.
You have a huge IP, pay off
For
one
real.
of cinema's biggest cliffhangers, and tap into 20 years of built-up nostalgia. You know, no biggie. But this movie really does have
Green
it all.
Goblin was
Lots of bad
crazy.
guys come together, Tobey Maguire getting his back cracked, great power, great responsibility, all that stuff. Really solid across the board. But gotta be honest here, anytime you
Graphics
tamper with the
amazing.
multiverse, you're gonna be getting some questions from lore nerds like me, and this movie leaves open some big ones. Questions that I aim to definitively answer today. Or, you know, as definitive as I can until they retcon something to fit the ongoing narrative that they're looking to tell. First and foremost, why are we only seeing the villains? As a reminder, the entire premise of the movie kicks off when Peter Parker asks Doctor Strange to cast a spell that makes everyone forget that he's Spider-Man. After Peter tampers with the spell one too many times, it breaks the fabric of reality, opening the door for villains like Lizard and
Dr. Otto Octavius
to come through from other universes because, as the movie tells us, they knew the Spider-Man Peter Parker connection. At least most of them did, prompting our first major discussion here. Electro is a bit hazy on this point, since in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Max Dillon never explicitly makes the Peter Parker Spider-Man connection. In fact, it seems like No Way Home acknowledges this. There's even a joke about it where Electro, upon seeing Andrew Garfield's face at the end of the movie, says that he'd assumed that Peter Parker was gonna be black the entire time. So, is that just the writers being sloppy so they can fit in a Miles Morales joke, or are they actually playing some level of 4D chess that we mere nerds aren't privy to? Well, there are two possible ways
This guy
to
always gets
explain
me fucked, bro. This guy always, like, he just knows how to say certain things that just make me overthink, bro. Fuck.
Electro's presence, both of which would require a fair amount of squinting to make work. First, we hear in No Way Home that Electro was, and this is a direct quote from the movie that I can't play for obvious reasons, he was stuck in the grid absorbing data before his memory disappears and he dies. Now, this isn't exactly true if you go back to the source material.
No.
Electro was actually in a power grid, specifically a hydroelectric power grid. And I know science wasn't your strongest suit, Hollywood, so this might come as a shock to you, but electricity is different than the internet. I know,
Idiots.
I was just as blown away as you are. But
Not
I guess
lie.
if you're assuming
I
that
didn't
he's
think that
absorbing
either.
electricity and internet in this scene, then you could say that Max got the info through accessing Peter's online data. Maybe. Like I said, it's a pretty weak sauce explanation. The other angle here...
No, he low-key, when he was stuck in the grid, that low-key meant he could have been stuck in, like, a computer, like, a big-ass, like, computer. And computers need electricity to, operate. I don't know. I don't know.
This
I'm
is
guessing.
one that I think is
I'm honestly just guessing at this
story, and
point.
also works with the whole I thought you'd be black joke, is that Max does know Spider-Man's name is Peter, he just doesn't know his face. In the final fight, Electro is knocked unconscious after playing the itsy bitsy spider on the power grid.
He probably just heard his
He
name.
just makes all the worst decisions. Gwen Stacy arrives and calls out to Peter, at which point we smash cut to Electro becoming alert and ready to attack again.
When I say you turn that power on, you turn it on, no matter what. Peter.
So that definitely explains how Electro knows that Spider-Man's name is Peter, but I think that there's still a missing piece here, and that's Peter's best friend, Harry, who breaks Electro out of captivity to help him take care of Spider-Man.
I'm not gonna cap this Green Goblin in this movie. Ugly as fuck compared to the original. Nah.
Spider-Man, and I can give him to you.
At this point in the movie, Harry knows that Peter and Spider-Man share some sort of connection.
You took his picture. You know him.
Harry most likely tells all of this to Electro after he breaks him out. So when Max hears the name Peter from Gwen, he's able to make that final connection to Peter Parker, Harry's friend that he was told about. Oh boy, there you go, screenwriters. I saved your butts on that one. Something tells me that no one really intended all of that, but it does manage to work out when you read between the lines. Anyway, putting Electro aside, I'm more interested in the bigger question: why only the villains? Why don't we see anyone else come through here, like girlfriends or best friends? In the Sam Raimi trilogy, Mary Jane knows Peter's identity all too well.
Go get him, Tiger.
And in The Amazing Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy treats it like it's the most casual thing in the world.
Consider coming in through the lobby.
The best friends in these movies also tend to know. The Harry Osborns from both universes know Peter's secret.
First we'll see who's behind the mask. Peter.
So, was this just a decision made out of convenience, or is there an actual in-universe explanation for it? Well,
I don't know.
But this one actually lines up pretty well with the lore. I don't know, again, if this was intentional or not, but as Doctor Strange prepares his magic, Peter requests that his girlfriend, his best friend, and Aunt May all get exempted from the spell.
So MJ's gonna forget about everything we've ever been through? Oh my god, Ned. Oh, my Aunt May should really know.
Stop talking.
And so Strange removes them from the magic to try and meet Peter's request. However, when the whole thing goes haywire and people who knew Peter's identity start crossing over, those people are still eliminated. As such, all the girlfriends, best friends, and aunts aren't included and therefore don't cross over into the MCU. Was it intentional? No, probably not. Is it a cool coincidence?
Wait, probably tripping. Did he just say even in their dimension they forget who they are?
That helps explain the rationale for that part of the movie? Yeah, I think so. One of the other things the movie just kinda glosses over that I thought was interesting to think about was the implication of curing all of these characters. The whole second act of the movie is Peter sacrificing and losing everything, including Aunt May, to try and cure these villains, working under the assumption that he's saving their
bro,
lives.
when Aunt May died, bro, oh my god, bro, y'all don't understand. Niggas really went through it for real. Oh my god.
Giving them a second
Niggas really
chance
went
in
through
their own
it.
universes. Except, nope, that is decidedly not true. The Sandman doesn't die in his movie, so kind of a lost cause there. Same thing with the Lizard, who already is transformed back into a human by the end of his movie, so redundancy is redundant. That leaves Electro and Green Goblin, neither of whom want to be cured, which opens a big old can of ethical worms about
Oh
forcing
my
cure.
god, talking about Green Goblin. That last fight scene? Woof. Peter, you're a dog. Oh, you're a dog.
On individuals that don't want to be cured. But worst of all, perhaps, is the
He deserved it.
situation for Doc Ock, who, if you actually look back at the original movie, wouldn't be saved at all. In No Way
Yeah,
Home,
that's
he
facts.
says that he's portaled over into Tom Holland's reality in the middle of a battle against Spider-Man. Specifically, he says, quote, "Spider-Man was trying to stop my fusion reactor, so I stopped him. I had him by the throat, and then I was here." One teeny tiny any problem with that. By the time Doc Ock has Spider-Man by the throat in Spider-Man 2, his fusion reactor is already seconds away from exploding. It is far beyond the point of saving. The good doctor himself is mere seconds away from his own redemption at this point.
Listen to me now.
Seriously, Doc Ock already makes the decision to turn good and sacrifice himself.
Maybe it was right before he made that final decision. Because if you think about it, the day the portal was open and all that shit, it was like days before, maybe like a day or two before, all his friends got hit with the MIT shit, you know what I'm saying? And then he just refound where he, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? It was probably a couple days prior. Well, as soon as he saw him like that, he thought he had it. And then before he made the look to see the fusion reactor. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
So Tom
I'm just trying to remember.
With a fixed neural implant here. Also
I should have rewatched all the movies before I did this.
Gesture for something that was gonna happen anyway. In short, this whole movie was extraneous because you either don't change any character's outcome, or you just cure people who don't want to be cured in the first place. Sorry about your sacrifice, Aunt May. Doesn't look like it did much good, but hey, at least you got to say the iconic line. But now the big one.
Don't disrespect Aunt May like that. And Aunt May was bad. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
The ending wish. At the end of the movie, the Green Goblin uses a pumpkin bomb to destroy the Deus Vox Machina, causing reality to shred and even more entities to try and cross over into Tom Holland's universe. Doctor Strange tries to repair the rift, but it's just too much. He can't contain it. So with no other option, Peter makes one final sacrifice. He asks Strange to make the world forget about Peter Parker. Now, I've rewatched this scene a couple of times, and this is exactly how it's transcribed.
Oh yeah.
They're here because of you.
What if everyone forgot who I was? They're coming here because of me, right? Because I'm Peter Parker. So cast a new spell. But this time, make everyone forget who Peter Parker is. Make everyone forget me.
That would mean everyone who knows and loves you would have no memory of you. It would be as though you never existed.
And it works. The rift gets repaired and the world no longer knows the identity of Spider-Man. Hooray!
Fuck. Y'all don't understand, bro. I almost went to tears. I don't cry. I almost went to tears in this movie, bro.
But it comes at the cost of MJ, Ned, Happy, and all the others having no clue who Peter is. So it's just a simple memory wipe spell, right? What's so complicated to understand about that? Well, if only it were that simple. As Peter and Disney are more than happy to remind us of repeatedly throughout the movie, Peter is the most famous person in the world at this point because Mysterio outed him as the identity of Spider-Man. And he did this in the form of a video. Did that video get wiped away by the spell? Sure, let's assume that it was. But then, what about all the other physical evidence of Peter Parker? Before the big climax, Peter takes a selfie video that gets broadcast out to the world. Does that disappear too? Or his text messages to MJ? Or Flash's book? Are those all just gone? What about his application to MIT? The simple answer here would be that the spell dusted all of those things too. All physical traces of Peter Parker just poof
he's
away.
A bum just like us now.
Strange said, it'll be as though you never existed. Except yet again, it's not that clear cut. We see in the final scenes of the movie that MJ is wearing the broken Black Dahlia necklace that Peter gave her in the previous movie. In addition, we learn that both Ned and MJ have gotten into MIT, something that Peter had a direct hand in earlier in the film. So it seems like his physical actions have had some sort of memory on the world, even if the world doesn't necessarily remember him. So maybe Peter's just gone then, right? Everything he touched and altered up to that point stays, but
no, but they still know who Spider-Man is. What the fuck am I saying?
Anything with the name Peter Parker on it's just dusted away. Not again. On one hand, we see Peter studying for his GEDs. For those of you who don't know, the GED here in the US is a test that allows you to show that you have high school level skills. By taking it and passing it functions pretty much the same way as a diploma. So the fact that he's taking it implies either A, that his academic record has been erased as part of the spell, or B, he isn't returning to finish the school year. Again, most likely because he no longer has a student record. But on the other hand, we see Peter get himself an apartment. This implies that he has to have himself some level of an identity, as well as a fairly decent credit score. As anyone who's ever tried to get an apartment can tell you, you need a social security number and a history of income to be able to lease from a landlord. So a lot of conflicting information there. But of all the conflicting evidence we have, none perhaps is as confusing as his interactions with Happy at Aunt May's grave. When Peter asks how he knew her, Happy replies through Spider-Man. So Happy knows Spider-Man, but again, not Peter Parker. How
this is mind-fucking right now.
Make any sense? Because Happy knows May not via Spider-Man, but because Spider-Man is connected to Peter Parker. Without the link of Peter Parker, there's no way for Happy to meet May, and yet somehow, under the arbitrary rules of the spell, he does.
maybe don't talk to me down low in the comments. Maybe when the scenes cut from that one, he told himself he was Spider-Man, and that he told Happy everything, and then Happy helped him get a new identity and everything, and the apartment, all that situated, and some money in his pockets, and he basically fixed shit for him. He only told Happy so far. That's my theory.
Which then prompts the question, does that
That's
mean
my theory.
MJ, under the memory spell, remembers being Spider-Man's girlfriend? Because again, she knows Spider-Man, but she doesn't know Peter? Same thing with Ned. Does he know that he's Spider-Man's guy in the chair? So taking all of the evidence and questions into account, I think there's only one way to explain all of this. The spell doesn't erase Peter Parker from existence. It just erases people's memory of him, and along with that, erases any physical thing that would be considered or connected to a memory of him. But Peter's achievements, the aftermath of things that he's explicitly done, those all remain. It's a difference of qualitative versus quantitative actions. Which
Science,
is
fuck!
So let me explain with some examples. Mysterio's video claiming that he's being attacked by Spider-Man, that still exists because it was tied to an action that was being done by Spider-Man. But the part where he calls out Peter Parker, that now is gone because it would be dependent on Mysterio knowing Peter Parker. Flash's book, gone because again, it's based on Flash's relationship and
with Parker.
Memories with Peter Parker. Meanwhile, Peter's bank account and social security number, those would remain. Earning money and putting it into a bank or being given a social security number are physical acts that don't hinge on the memory or identity of Peter Parker. Just like giving a physical necklace to MJ. She has the necklace, but I would guess she doesn't remember where she got it from. Those actions exist separate from the identity of Peter. Basically,
I thought it was the other way.
They'll just think of him as some random anonymous person, like we see MJ do in the coffee shop. So what then would this mean for the series? Well, if I'm right, it would mean that both MJ and Ned shouldn't remember their interactions with Spider-Man. To both of them, he was Peter Parker first, and when they're helping Spider-Man, they're really helping Peter. So all of those memories have got to go. Happy, meanwhile, is able to fall into the opposite bucket. His relationship with Peter started through the identity of Spider-Man, and while he certainly grew to love the boy behind the mask, the root of that relationship was the secret identity, thus allowing him to remember Aunt May and chalk those memories up to Spider-Man's influence. Likewise, Spider-Man should still be able to continue on as an Avenger, but here no one will know his real name, making the eventual reunion
only
with the
Iron
Guardians
Man
of the Galaxy real awkward.
Who are you? We're the Avengers, man.
But to me, what's probably most interesting about all this is how it relates to the Vulture. As you might recall, he's the biggest dangling threat in the series, the only one who knows Spider-Man's identity and who keeps getting teased as pulling together a Sinister Six.
It's not on you. It's on our little spider friend. I've got some boys on the outside who would love to meet him.
In fact, he's so important that he's being used to market the upcoming Morbius movie.
Oh yeah, he is.
You and I should stay in touch.
Leaving many to question whether Morbius is now a part of the MCU, and Sony's response thus far has been, yesn't? They're being real cagey about it, but in reality, no, he's not. This is all just a fake out. By the rules that we've just gone over, the Vulture wouldn't know Peter's secret identity. The scene in the car in Homecoming would be a forgotten memory. As such, all of the teases from both Morbius and Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies should ultimately amount to nothing. And moments in trailers like this are just more instances of movie studios pulling boners. That's a Ralph boner, for those of you who don't get the reference.
You're Ralph Boner?
Boner.
All of it fake outs to sell tickets. So there you have it, friends. No Way Home. A lot of seeming gaps in the plot that just squeak by getting solved if you look at them deep enough. Well done, screenwriters. You've escaped me this time. Which leaves us then with a single Spider-Man who has literally no history. What a nice clean slate to start a brand new trilogy on. One might call it a reboot of sorts. And wait, who was it that predicted that? By whatever means Wanda Maximoff zaps in during the post-credit scene to set us up for the Multiverse of Madness, the story is going to wrap up in such a way that while there can be a path forward for Tom Holland's Peter Parker, he can also be soft rebooted. I guess sometimes even a blind squirrel finds a nut. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory.
Oh my god. Alright, film theory. You guys are mind fucking me today, bro. I wasn't prepared to get bamboozled with all that information. Hey man. Amazing day. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what a great movie. A lot of different theories, a lot of different, you know what I mean, ideas up in here, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel. I just posted a new video today on my main channel, on the other channel, just seeing if you got just go check that out for me real quick. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might like it, y'all might not. It's right here. It's gonna be right up there. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how y'all feel. I love y'all, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Oh, boy.